Today's today's 919 dating. I'm here to listen to learn. I'm learning how to support your dreams, your goals, allow you to become the person that you want to become. The person that you want to become. Today I want to speak about probably one of my favorite topics, and that is that we're able to work very hard to change who we are. Because sometimes who we are is not enough. It's not enough. I truly believe that we need to evolve, transform, really find a way how to become the best version of ourselves. And how to do that? How to become the best version of you. That means that sometimes it's not the shift that you need to make. It's not the changes you need to make. It's really need to become somebody else, totally different. And I'm a massive believer that every single person is able to transform, evolve, and become somebody that they never thought they could be. So it can be a bug nib, it can be a butterfly. I truly believe that every single person is able to transform if they're willing to really to go through that transformation, because transformation is not easy. Transformation is not easy. So today we'll share just the easy steps. I will not go deeper because there's a massive topic. Transformation from a bug to a butterfly is a huge transformation. So today we'll start from small steps. Really, what we need to really consider, but really making that transition, transformation, evolve to something else. So number one is self-reflection. Self-reflection. There's always self-reflection is the first step. We need to understand where we are. What kind of values do we have? What kind of beliefs do we have? Understanding who we are will be always the first step when we want to transform somebody. So what kind of bug we are? What kind of person we are? And it will be that, okay, what we will need to transform into. But we need to understand, of course, where we start, because I really love the example that if you want to go to destination, so in the Google Maps, first is you choose destination, and the second part, what you do, always choose where you are right now. And then, of course, we'll be able to design the plan how to get where you want to go. So first, self-reflection, values, beliefs, strengths, weaknesses, everything about yourself. Number two is really set goals. I massively believe in goals and writing down on the paper and really looking in those quite often to understand exactly what you're trying to achieve, because sometimes it's just really goals, having that vision for ourselves. What kind of goals we want to achieve? Because a lot of times we want to really understand if we want to achieve those goals, what kind of person you need to be to achieve those goals. Because a lot of times we are not enough yet. That is very, very important. It's that we are not enough yet to achieve our goal. So that means we'll need to really transform ourselves to a person who could achieve that goal, who achieve that purpose, who achieve that vision. So I'm truly believer that sometimes we just need to understand, okay, what kind of goal we after, what kind of purpose we after, and then working very hard to become the person who really able to achieve it. And that means, of course, we need to achieve that clarity. And clarity, what kind of goals you want to go after. Number three is really create a plan. A goal without a plan is just a wish. A goal without a plan is just a wish. Because a lot of times people, I have a goal. But you actually know exactly where you potentially could start. You don't need to know all the steps in the plan. You don't need to know all the steps in the plan. You need to know what you're able to do right now towards that vision, to that goal. Because sometimes people wait until they know all the steps. No, you don't need to all the steps. If you really care about that goal, if you really want to achieve that massive goal, the only thing that you need to know what kind of first step. Because a lot of times when you take first step, you understand what kind of will be second step, and when you take second step, you will know what kind of third step you need to take. So start small and take step forward. So create a plan, and sometimes you just need to really pencil the plan. You put the pen first step and then pencil out all the other steps that potentially could lead to your goal. So breaking down that massive goal to smaller goals, smaller steps is very, very important. Number four is seek feedback. It's very beautiful is when you really pursue something meaningful, something really worth pursuing, and you look into maybe there is other people who really done what you're trying to achieve, and go to ask what they done to achieve that. So if you seek feedback, sometimes I know this could be hard to find those people because they are so far ahead. So sometimes it's just going and reading a book by those people, understanding how they think, how they write, the ideas, how they put ideas on the paper is a mentorship that people sometimes neglect. Because they spend 20 years, 30 years on writing that book. And really, they put that book on paper and you're able to get mentorship without really speaking with the person. That's probably one of the easiest first steps is reading a book by the person that you really admire, aspire to be. And it might be that you can read even 10, Well, 15 books. For example, I really admire John C. Maxwell. I have read at least 15 books by him because I wanted to learn how he thinks, how he communicates. And a lot of times I learn how to communicate exactly how he communicates, because some people said that, oh, I speak like John C. Maxwell because I was immersed in his books, constantly reading. So I think that's very, very important, that if you want to become like somebody, is really find the way, read about biography, read about the books, to make sure that you get mentorship, not just directly, but and that's a great feedback. And if you're able to find people who are able to really directly communicate, that's even better. Number 5, and this is very, very important, challenge yourself. Challenge yourself. Because sometimes when we are starting something, we have that comfort zone, that bubble. At that moment, it means if you want to transform ourselves, we need to challenge ourselves. Do things that we never thought we can do. Do things that we never thought we can do. And that's, of course, that will be a challenging. That's what it says, challenge yourself. Because it will be hard, it will be challenging, but it's worth it. So that means it's really find a way how you can challenge yourself. Even, I think that when we do that transformation, we need to reduce the time. How often do we challenge ourselves? Because sometimes people challenge themselves once a year. Maybe then I want to transform in a year, not in a decade. So if you want to transform yourself in a year rather than decade, what we need to do, we need to really crush that time and start to challenge ourselves on a weekly basis, maybe even on a daily basis at some point. So when you're able to really, okay, what kind of things I'm able to challenge myself? But again, I really love in breaking things down. So if you want to challenge yourself in a massive way, maybe able to challenge yourself in a small way. And that's how you're able to challenge yourself on a daily basis, because you challenge yourself very small steps every single day. And after a while, after a month, after 2 months, you're able to challenge yourself in a big way. So challenge yourself is very important to really transforming yourself in somebody else. And again, sometimes you just need to really try new skills, making sure that you push yourself and overcome all the new obstacles. Number 6 is practice self-awareness. And then again, this practice self-awareness is understanding, okay, what kind of thoughts you have and what kind of feelings you have, what kind of behaviors, but can understand that what kind of patterns or habits you have in place. Because if you do not know how you think, how you feel, a lot of times you will neglect yourself and you will not maximize your things that you could achieve. Because a lot of times when you know exactly how you think, how you feel, you're able to really see the pattern, you're able to really adjust that. Because if you're blinded by the way how you think, you cannot see what is holding you back. And at that point, you sabotage yourself from really taking the step necessary to achieve the things and become the person you want. So by not having self-awareness, you potentially sabotage, because you allow negative thoughts to come into your way, negative feelings come into your way. Because at the end of the day, we a lot of times act on our feelings, not on our thoughts, if we are not self-aware. Because we need to act on our purpose based on our thinking a lot of times, not on our feelings. Because this is a lot of times people say that the most successful people are people who are able to regulate their emotions. And if you're not aware of your emotions, you're not able to regulate it. So self-awareness is very important when you're really pursuing to change yourself and improve yourself and become somebody else. Number 7 is cultivate good habits. Cultivate positive habits. And I love that this is probably one of the most important key things as well, because people fall not on their goals. People fall on their processes. People fall not on their goals, but people fall on their process and systems and routines and habits that they have. Because during good days, every single person is able to perform at the highest level. During bad days, only the best are able to perform at their best. So what I mean by that? That means that during the worst days, people not quit on their daily habits, and because they know exactly what to do, they fall in the process. So they don't need to think about motivation, because the only thing that they do is they follow the things that they do every single day. They don't need to question it. And that's where they're probably the most successful people fall into. They fall in the process that they do no matter what. No matter how they feel, no matter how they think, they just execute what needs to be done. And I think that is very, very important to build positive habits that you're able to really persevere no matter how you feel, no matter how you think, because the only thing that you need to do is just execute and reduce all the friction. Number 8 is be patient and persistent. That means that transitioning and transforming yourself from a bug to a butterfly, it's a challenging procedure. That means that, of course, we'll need to have patience. Of course, we'll need to have persistence. That means that it will take some time. It will not take over time. It will not take some, like, one night you feel, okay, I want to be somebody else. You make decision overnight. You potentially could make decision. But after you make decision, you will need to execute and manage the decision. So it means that when you execute it, you will need to wait. You will be persistent. And because I love the word that until. I will transform myself until I will fully evolve. I will work very hard until I become the person that I want to become. And that until it always shows that I am persistent enough to achieve the things that I want. Number 9 is seek support. That means that when we're going through stuff, it's very, very important sometimes to have support. Now, the most important support you need to have is yourself, because sometimes we are not supportive. We are finding the way how we are putting negative thoughts in our head. So the number one support person, we need to be ourselves. We need to support ourselves. But second, when of course, if we're able to go out and find the people who potentially support, even of course, family members. Some people are blessed to have families who are very supportive, but if you're not able to go outside of your family members and find chosen family, we're able to really connect, and maybe people who are pursuing something different, people who are trying to transform themselves as well. So it doesn't matter in what they are transforming into, but what the most important that they are going through very, very similar patterns, very similar journey to make sure that you're able to really support each other in the highest level. And number 10 is embrace change. This is very, very beautiful. Embrace it. That means that when you embrace change, is that you're not afraid of it, because a lot of things will feel very uncomfortable. And it's very interesting because when people start something new, a lot of times those changes feel very uncomfortable. It feels that this is not for you, because the old ways is very comfortable and familiar. And because it sounds familiar, it seems that it's for you. But now when you start something new, it's very, very unfamiliar and it's very uncomfortable. And that's where a lot of times people quit, because no, it's probably not for me. Like, it feels so weird, feels uncomfortable, it's hard, it's challenging, all those things. And I think that our mind is tricking us to quit and saying that it's not for you. It's much more comfortable here with familiar. I think that we need to embrace that uncomfortable. We need to embrace that challenge. We need to embrace all the difficulties that come with change. Because when you really go into a change, when you really go into evolving, when you really go into something that you've never done before, you used to be bug, but now it's butterfly. So that means you start flying. You never thought that you will be able to fly. And it's when you start flying, at the beginning, it will feel super uncomfortable. Super uncomfortable. So we need to be embracing that, okay, even though I feel super uncomfortable, I will do it. I will try for the next 3 months to see how it feels, because after 3 months, that new uncomfortable will become familiar. It will come, this is who you are. But then if we embrace it, because it's a part of natural life that we need to evolve, and you need to really understand that we will need to become familiar with the new you. You will need to be comfortable with new you. And until that happens, and again, when you will become new you, at that moment, it will be your comfort zone, your familiar zone. Because we need to understand that all our lives, I truly believe that all of our lives, we need to evolve, transform. And we need to transform ourselves as often as possible, that we could really pursue bigger and bigger and bigger visions. We'll never stop evolving unless you choose to. So I hope that you will reflect as well, where you're at, what kind of person you want to become, and start evolving today, because there is no time to waste. I truly believe that every single person needs to evolve. So I hope you just win, and see you tomorrow.